Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. Zachary Quinto says he's received no updates on Star Trek 4. I don't know when it's going to happen. This seems to be the general census from all involved in this project. I'm still consistently baffled why Paramount decided to announce this whilst having no cast on board. Because that's not smart, obviously. Oh dear God, what an absolute joke Paramount really is. So anyway, Zachary Quinto, a pretty integral character, you know, I would say. Who played Spock, of course, in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek universe. But according to Star's Zachary Quinto, despite the company being so desperate to announce a new entry in J.J. Abrams' rebooted Star Trek film series, that they revealed its production well before even speaking to its principal cast, again, which we know, many a star has now corroborated that. Paramount has reportedly made very little moves on the Kelvin's timeline's fourth cinematic outing, because we had that announcement a few months back, like 2 months ago now, and then we heard nothing since. We just heard, basically interviews with cast members going around once they're doing other films, going, what? I'm a bit confused about this. They didn't say anything to me. So they announced it. They didn't prep the cast because they're not hired. And then they've allowed the cast to just... they've not allowed them. The cast is freely talking the truth, which is smack about Paramount, basically. And then they've done nothing since. I.e., they've not... this was 2 months back or so. They've not made any further headway on this. As opined by Zachary Quinto here. So Quinto opened up on the status of the recently announced Star Trek sequel during a late April interview with Hollywood Reporter, giving him promotion of his then upcoming appearance in the LA-based Geffen Playhouse's current production of the Edward Albee classic Who's Alfred of Virginia Woolf. Asked by site reporter Jordan Rafe if he had any insight into when Star Trek 4 could start production, the actor simply replied, "I don't know that we will do it this year. I don't know when it will happen." Now, that does imply that he's now on board. I don't know that we will do it this year. That does imply that he's on board, right? Let's be honest about this. Wording is everything. Context. Wording can imply context of other scenarios and situations, and this is definitely that. We will do it this year. I don't know when it will happen. So obviously he doesn't know when it's going to happen. That's him having absolutely no idea about anything. But this here, I don't know that we'll do it this year, seems to be him implying that he's at least been hired at this point, which, God, I mean, you'd think, wouldn't you? But then, he says this, and I always maintain that I would love to do it. Sorry, what? Sorry, what? I don't know that we'll do it this year. And I always maintain that I would love to do it. Now it kind of sounds like he's not on board, doesn't it? And then he says this. Quinto asserted, noting that he has yet to even see a script for the film. "But until I get something concrete, we're shooting this day, here's your script, get ready, I'm in a wait and see pattern." So it sounds like he's tentatively on board. I'm not really attached to it in any way until I have more definitive certainty that it's actually happening. Meaning they basically, do you know what this means? That he can be optioned for it, because he's got the option in his script, meaning that the studio can option him for a fourth film. Now this is what happened before, but the studio then wanted to change the pricing of the payment structure of their actors, and that's why Chris Pine was like, "No, I'm not coming back. You want to pay me less? No, I'm not happy about that." And that's what caused the whole issue before. He had a set price in his script, and they wanted to change it, and he wasn't having that. It's a contract. He was going to be optioned for this, and he said no, which that's perfectly within his rights to do. Perfectly reasonable statement to make. So they are still no closer to making this film. Zachary Quinto, one of the predominant stars of this, or what would be one of the predominant stars, has seen no script, nothing concrete. He knows absolutely nothing, and we're basically back at square one. I mean, this is what an absolute shambles Paramount really are, which is baffling to me when Paramount can do so well on so many other things. And it's Paramount that have been doing the Sonic and Sega franchises, right? They've been working alongside Sega and doing Sonic, which makes me wonder who's really the driving force behind the Sonic film. Is it Sega or is it Paramount? I think it's going to be Sega. And we know this by comparison to Legendary with Toho and Godzilla. Toho gets final sign-off on everything to do with Godzilla. So, you know, Japanese companies are very, and we know this from Nintendo as well and Mario, they're very protective of their properties, which so they should be. You know, like it's a business asset. And I think this will be the same thing here with Sega and Sonic, because undoubtedly Paramount couldn't organise a shit in a toilet. I'll give you that one for free. But anyway, there's more. There's so many different platforms for content, Quinto told Rafe as their interview drew to a close, and where that content's coming from and how it's getting made and how it fits into people's schedules and other commitments and stuff is always the hurdle. Quinto ultimately concluded, but I hope that we'll get to assemble the crew one more time. It's a great ensemble and we love each other. And I think I can speak for everyone and say we'd love to find a way to come back and do another one. So very politically minded with his statement here. And what I mean by that is it's a very democratic reply. It's a good response, I think, personally. And this mirrors other people's statements, right? You know, you got Carl Urban telling Variety in March, you know, he doesn't know anything about this because he's shooting The Boys through the end of the year. So how is he going to be getting involved? And he hadn't seen a script yet. So he said, I haven't seen a script, I know nothing, but I would love to work with those guys again. So much fun. The best hang. We'll see. And again, the same with Chris Pine, who said, well, what's going on with Star Trek is frankly, I don't know. When the announcement was made at the shareholders thing, I didn't know that they were doing that. I don't think anybody did. So, yeah. But he has met director Matt Shackman, who he praised, and he said, super cool guy, very smart, I like him a great deal. So, we don't know anything about it. I know there's a script out there somewhere, and I'm waiting to see it. The actor said, looking forward to reading it. I love the group, I love the team, I love the world. Happy to go to work, which he is. He's always maintained he's happy to do it, but then Chris Pine did also slam Paramount's management of Star Trek recently as well, which was just a beautiful sight to see. So let me know what you guys think about this down below. Again, I can't get over how poorly managed Star Trek has become under Paramount. They really do need to sort themselves out. It's not even a difficult thing to do. It really isn't. But the thing is, and what Chris Pine aptly pointed out, was it's them chasing for this Marvel-esque, takings, the $1 billion, the Marvel universe, that sort of thing. Stop doing it. It's not going to do it. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Cheers, guys. Take care.